Hello and welcome to More Yoga Fitness. My name is Kathy. Today we are going to do some wrist strengtheners and stretches. Really important for those of you who practice yoga or any other athlete who applies weight onto their wrists. We are going to start in a seated pose today. If you like the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be posting several stretches and strengtheners in the coming weeks. We're going to begin simply seated on our mat, and you don't need any equipment for this class. We're going to start with our arms stretched long out to a T, and I want you to make a fist and squeeze that fist. We're going to go ahead and just roll the wrists inward. And I'm hearing a little clicking in my own body. Clicking is okay, pain is not. Go ahead and stop, and we'll reverse that wrist roll. Keep a tight fist grip. We'll do 4, 3, 2, and 1. For our next wrist exercise, I want you to open up your hand, draw your arms out to the side. From wrist to wrist should be a straight line. Flexing the fingers toward your face and then rounding the fingers down in toward your arm. Flexing and rounding. Let's do 8. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. With an open hand, and I have my fingers pointed down toward the mat, I want you to turn so that your fingers are toward the back of you, and then turn so the fingers are up toward the sky. To the back and to the sky for 8. We'll do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Great. For our next wrist exercise, I want you to simply extend your hand out in front of you. I have my right fingertips toward the floor. I'm going to take my left hand and gently press those fingertips back toward my torso. Take some breaths here. And then release. Now I want you to focus on each individual finger, starting with the thumb. Go ahead and gently pull that thumb back until you feel a stretch. Breathe. And release the thumb, the index finger. We'll do about 3 breaths for each finger. Release the long finger. Moving on to the ring finger. And finally, the pinky. With all of these fingers, each one's going to have a little bit more dexterity and more flexibility. So you want to listen to your body and just move it until you can feel it. And we're done with the first side. Let's move on to the second side. We're just going to gently take those fingers and with my right hand applying pressure onto my fingers on the left, really reaching my left wrist forward, simultaneously flexing those left fingers back with that gentle pressure. Just a few more breaths. Let's release and focus finger by finger. We'll start with the thumb. Moving on to the index finger. The long finger. The ring finger. And finally, the pinky finger. And release with your thumbs at your heart. From here, starting with our thumbs at our heart, I'm just going to have you press the pads of your fingers firmly with your elbow to elbow as a straight line. I'm engaging my shoulders by squeezing my shoulder blades back. I want you to keep that pressure active and rotate your fingers toward the floor and rotate them back up towards your chin. We'll do that a few times here, making sure elbow to elbow stays a straight line and that pressure remains firm on the pads of your fingers. Three more. Two more. Your last one, let's hold it down here. Keep the pressure in the fingers. And release. From here, I just want you to take your right hand and wrap it around your left wrist. Make a fist with that left hand and just roll that wrist one direction. And take it the other way. Try to make as big a circles as you can. And I have gentle pressure on my wrist with that squeeze of the right hand. Let's open the fingers up wide, close them and squeeze them tight for 8, 7, 6. Really try to spread, in particular, your thumb and your pinky. 5. Keep them spread. Hold here. Spread. Woo. And let it release. Moving on to the other side, gently grabbing around my wrist, making a fist with the right, and begin rotating your wrist one direction. Let's take it the other way. And like I mentioned before, a little clicking is bound to happen, just as long as you're not feeling pain. If you're feeling pain, then you need to stop. Two more. Last one. Let's go ahead and open the fingers wide. I'm really trying to span my fingers as long as I can, almost like I'm trying to do an octave on the keyboard. Squeezing a nice tight fist, and we'll open and close. Let's do a few more. 3, 2, and 1. Let's hold the fingers open wide. And we'll let everything rest. For these last set of wrist stretches, I want you to come onto your mat and come into tabletop position where your wrists are directly below your shoulders. You always want to stack your joints, really important. We're going to actually take our fingertips and point them to the sides of the mat. And I'm going to shift my weight slightly forward so that my wrists, elbows, and shoulders align. All I want you to do here is slightly sway side to side, using the gentle weight of your body. So if it becomes too intense, I invite you to just sink your sitting bones back a little closer toward your heels. It'll lessen the amount of pressure on your wrists. Again, wrists are delicate and everybody has a little bit different mobility. So you really want to pay attention to your own body, and your range of motion is not going to look like mine. We'll do a few more here. And we'll come back to center. So for the next stretch, I want you to try and bring your fingertips toward your knees. So you're bringing your elbow points back. From here, I want you to tuck your toes under and sink your sitting bones back toward your heels. But notice how my wrists are lifting up off the mat. You want to allow that. And allow that slight bend of the fingers back. So everybody, again, will have a different range of motion. You're also getting a little stretch in through your feet right now by sitting your sitting bones back toward your heels. Keep your toes tucked under. Of course, if this is getting too intense, you can always lean forward. It'll lessen the intensity, or leaning back even more will further bend those fingers. And try as best you can to keep your palms pointed forward. Let's breathe here. And we'll release. Rock forward. Turn those wrists around. And come onto your seat. I hope you enjoyed today's wrist and finger stretch. If you liked the video, please share it with your family and friends. And I hope to see you again on my channel soon.